evening. Good evening. Sound check, guys. Can you hear me? Mwaiseni. Mutamboke. Molibiabuti. Prince Sosala. No, we just started. You are right on time. How are you, my brother? How are you, my brother? Hello? Sound check. Regina, I see you. Prince, you're okay, you're fine. Kayelu, see you, thank you. Mercy, see you. George, thank you. I see you. Good morning, guys. Good evening. Comments below, guys. What is your location? Tuposhanye tufike konangu 50 ero twalayamba. Popo, I see you. Brian, hi. Brian Banda, how are you guys? Regina, send me your location. Share the video with at least 1 or 2 people so we can talk about today's press conference. Yes, guys. Hi, Yannick. How are you, Mama Matipa?
Fine, Queen Impumi. How are you?
Good. Looking nice and bright in yellow. I love yellow.
Thank you, Queen Impumi. Yeah, Ichalo, Lusaka has gone wild. Everybody is online. So you go to this page, you go to this page, you know, everyone is talking.
We have to catch up later. We just have to catch up with what other people are saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel so tired already. Just thinking about stuff.
I'm so
tired. Just thinking about everything is like draining.
I tell you, Queen Impumi, sometimes I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to say. You know, people may think you despise the person for no reason, but honestly, it has left me dumbfounded.
Hi, Beatrice Cole. Thank you for supporting every time you're always here, Beatrice. We welcome the new viewers too, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Mama, you can greet our guests. I think for me today, we'll leave it open for people just to share their feelings.
I think so, Queen Impumi.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, guests.
If you want to join in, guys, just come in. Today is your day. Me, I'll talk last. I need to stock up everything and process it. I need to process everything, guys. I need to process and digest that speech and just be like, wow, you know.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you and join the program. We want to increase this program. We want more people to listen to our checks and balances. It is not that we hate the person. We just want to give some informed decisions. And as always, it's nice to have you here.
Good evening, Mama Matipa.
Good evening, Mama Maria. How are you?
Good morning.
Good evening. Good morning in your time zone, Mama. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
So I heard somebody using a word that itananani, yeah. Call your friends, let them listen to the ladies, support your ladies as well. It's not only the men that can provide leadership. We are equally here. Let's have as many women join this program, and the men, of course. So today it's a hot topic, as Queen Impumi has rightly put it. We will give you a chance today. It's your show today. You can talk, you can give us your views on today's press conference. Once again, welcome to everybody. Thank you, Queen Impumi.
Thank you. Mama, greet your guests. We are just greeting everybody.
Mwaiseni bose munganda y'amafunde mwaiseni twatotela na kabiri natuwela nga fafine mwaisho okutila lyonse tulakwata ama programs munganda y'amafunde okutapa Friday kanshi tuli abansansa okola mimona bonse era natotela sana kwa mulandu wakutila na ifwe fwe bashasambirira tulesangwa umubalelande chimpaule ichitaline chakonka pone chipi kanshi bose mantungwa mwirafuira mukati mose mwebalande chibemba mwebalande chirozi mwebalande chitonga mwebalande chitumbuka bonse fye mufiri okuba free okujoina nokuparticipate muri inganda y'amafunde kanshi mwebana bamfumu kanshi topic balande okutila tulefayo kulanda ko pamashiwi aya chisosa umufyashi weso wachalo chesu cha Zambia amashiwi asu ya lelo kanshi muri bantungwa bonse ukukwata amaisosele pafyo mwachumfwa pafyo bachilanda kuli bakapali ya amashiwi bachikwata mukasuba kanshi icho bonse balefayo kutila tumfweko efomo mufyumfuirire chila muntu yamwachumfuirire achilete pabweru nangu palwangala kati pakutila na ifwe pakulekelesha twise tuposepo efyo tumfuire palira press conference natotela mkwai.
Natotela mkwai. Mwana wa Supo, how are you? Incoming MP Tabushi. Welcome, my son. The floor is yours.
Yes, actually. How are you, Mama Chika Monica? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. In fact, today is actually my birthday today. It's actually 20th today. So, because of brokenness, I was just at home and actually listening to the press conference. But as the press conference where first I'm not happy with it.
First of all, my son.
Stop there. Let's sing happy birthday for him. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you.
Continue.
Okay. So, anyway, press briefing, yeah, Chumfui Kambat. What I want to emphasize here is that there's a time for question to the president. I think we shouldn't just let those journalists to be asking. It's the people of this country. They must choose about 10 or 20. You know, you cannot have a press briefing to take about for 3 hours. So in order to keep people awake, because I've seen of which there was no juice there was actually aquavita. That's not the case. So now, Iliashi, I will speak about copper belts. I think Costa asked a very good question. Pari, the issue to do with copper belts. But Pareba Kateka, I know that question actually wasn't expected that maybe Costa might ask that question on copper belts. I think here, I don't know if it's we are the people of Zambia are actually living in a dreamland, or maybe it's actually the leadership or the new dawn. I don't know between the two. And for the Sugar Kenzi Mountain or Nangura Nifuevo Fuevantu Abadi Kunan. Because what I'm saying so is that that press briefing, it has actually said a lot of things. But again, where I was not clear, it's the issue to do with the Congo and Zambia on the battery issue. That's why it's very important to if what me and because which company ever started innovate battery manufacturing in Zambia? And if that's so, not quite enough for a quick mama company, I know what a pangira battery. era okukuba sungu kulaisa emyoto gesha kuchaja na ngukuchibika fe kuma rights inga efwe nomba nishara bera Zambia wani dump sites ero tu mwebe karacharo are you sure benefits karapangira munona ngwekara ya mabattery ya isa Mzambia. Then 3 vakateka kwachwa pali issue ya ma student loans and whatsoever. I think those that have listened to the kuri yonsefe press conference kuri ya mwama question vakateka tabachira askira popala penye, but we understand he actually knows. Then 4 bakateka new Dawn government, it was actually birthed by UPND. So in whatever the president is saying, bafureba istamari each pani na government. Here we kunote kuli build kuli Joe Biden kuno munoni mu Africa. So those people aba relate pani aba stretchani is supposed actually to marry party na nankane na government. Then it too mamimpo mishishive nga ukuso mwikara ku diaspora if there is an issue kwa kustati mwakwata ma permanent secretary yabili under one ministry. I think this is the waste of taxpayers money inomonch mwene ine. I think if yababikire pirato kuja, it's a nice thing. Twalikwata minister of religious, it actually works under the office of the vice president. Why not to the pesumbi since alipanga ko nefya bu pastor chileshe kangwa kairi tetwa mutamfya bapere muri zuba alifwa toratamba zuba palifwa. So the best thing is kumutwala ko bamustako shift kuri imbi ministry babika kona kwena kula minister kuja ture kwa okay bonsa ama permanent secretary baiche wonse nga ba minister shebaiche nangu bakuru mamana. So those are the things that we must be asking ourselves. So in a press briefing Monday, I was not happy and the next send my questions because if I much communicate to asangwa mu copper belt and actually copper belt to fuide but it to be about copper belt. So this press briefing okay but just kakuli for him but for copper belt. Look, we shouldn't actually be mu dreamland kwani nakalimo shishi benga to abakuma kumbi kuri kanaka buka ni mofamu because ratem raven area kumura reba tsikwari ba sugar cane mountain kumuru kulya wao Stefina menga fyafwa tafyare sangwa ko sugar cane mountain kulya kumuru kulya. So we don't know who's dreaming ngani new Dawn administration angunfo fwe bantu. So abapena and 2 mwabareba atkwara ba press briefing. I think administration mure setting an agenda so that we actually know no photo arrive sharp. And the issue yako fati mwarasta vya alama journalists, those journalists oko bafuma oko kuma radio station bara bebe fya kwa mkuipusha. So how sure are we ngata ibani for play para pa kwa mkuipusha ya ma question yalya kufuire fe basenda fyo muntu fe nangwa kuchiboja kudya a surprise bafika fe pako so that watu wabe pusha bakateka pako shita develop kuicharo tatufire to abatu ni PF ni UPND ni shani apo pena mu Africa peno potulia shani. The issue to do with blame game apaya adipwakari yako but those people they were actually still no apa let's change the narrative effort to fisangire fintu imomfuire mwabomba so that you prove to the people at if you try for tupangire kwe fiaso PF it has actually done infrastructure katuishi mu Africa fengo for chab. The other one they actually come and actually employ 30,000 teachers. So what has gone wrong to the actually to the manifesto which they were actually selling out to the people? So tufuire to aba careful na mwebene mwema advisor mwebale advisor abantu abali kuntansha aba make sure that mwashitako kata na bali abatabaya kuma school. These journalists baba pera feri mbini script at ORI pisha. So because there are a lot of journalists there, so I'm sure bonse ama journalists they were supposed to ask a question. Olo tafuire omuntu aba intimidated that watch ask a question ibara mtamfiench. I think for now for ningaranda kufe mampumi.
Thank you guys. If you're just joining, we are here to just take a few of the press briefing. It is your show. You can come in and make your contribution, what you feel, how the press conference went today. Paul Black has brought a lot of concern. He talked about he wanted clarification, more clarification on how this Congo-Zambia battery deal is going to work out. And also, Paul also has talked about the appointment of Pilato, and we have two permanent secretaries in one position. So I'll be reading your comments, guys. I'm going to comment at the end. So Mama Chipa, any comments?
Yes, Queen Mpumi. First of all, I watched the press conference from beginning to end. And I took down a few notes. The president talked about the IMF deal. He talked about CDF. He talked about load management. He talked about management of the mines. And he also talked about ending COVID, among other things. About the IMF deal, the president talked about this new Dawn government borrowing from the IMF at 0.8%. He boasted that he managed to negotiate to borrow at 0.8%, while other countries and other political parties in the past have borrowed at 8%. And then he equally boasted to say they will pay back, you know, around their own parameters. They will not pay back at the parameters of the Americans. And so they themselves know how they'll borrow back, they'll pay back. But then again, I asked myself, yes, you may have borrowed at 0.8%, but what else did you give them for you to borrow from the IMF? We look at the tax holidays in the mines. Were those one of the conditions? We looked at removing subsidies on fuel. Were those one of the conditions? You know? And then when you see who are the majority Zambians, I would like to think it's the villagers, the youth, that you go around begging for votes. And these people's interests are jobs, agriculture, and having 3 meals a day. He equally talked about the death penalty, the borrowed land, you know, and the good relations with the USA, Japan, and China. The death penalty, as usual, he went on blame game. He blamed the previous government. I mean, it's becoming rhetoric. We've addressed that before. As for the borrowed land, he just blubbered. He blubbered. There's nothing that he gave to the people of Zambia. He just said, we are working on it. This time we are doing the right thing. We are not like the previous government where they achieved nothing. You watch and see. Just watch what will happen. There were new appointments, Queen Mpumi. Patrick Kalubakangwa, Mrs. Zalomis, State Council Alice Mwinga, Mr. Piri, Mr. Chipenzi. I think on this program we have addressed issues of the old being reappointed, people like Mrs. Zalomis, Mr. Alice Mwinga. As for Mr. Patrick Kalubakangwa, this was a long overdue appointment, long overdue. For Mr. Chipenzi, there were a lot of comments to say he was equally a cadre. Pilato, what I know about Pilato is a praise singer. So now I'm wondering, if you praise so much, you are silenced with a job. And that's exactly what he got, you know. And now he has created 2 positions in that ministry, one to address the youth and the other one to address arts in Zambia. So he's creating these posts, and yet he was one of the first who castigated others of having such a large cabinet and having so many positions created, you know. He boasted about ending COVID, which I find a shame. COVID ended when UPND was coming into power. Yet he says he was being asked for lessons on how he mobilized and convinced all to be immunized. What a lie. I told, is it Don Bosco? I told him, don't sugarcoat things.
A lie is not an insult. It's nowhere in the dictionary do they say a lie is an insult. When you lie in the morning, you lie at lunchtime, you lie in the evening, you should be ashamed. He never touched on Millimil. He never touched on his campaign promises, the dollar and so forth. You know, and yet we find now most of the praise singers are crying. We saw a man, Mr. Mukuka, who cried terribly on social media. We saw a man who, I think his name is Topson from Mukushi, who once went on social media and lamented about the sufferings of the people of Zambia. I don't know how they managed to silence him. Recently, I saw a post from him that usually he just sits at home, he does nothing, but the next day he will have so much money in his account, and that's how he earns his living. So when you don't tell the people how you earn your living, you cry on social media, and all of a sudden all is rosy and green. People start to wonder what happened. He boasted about desks, meals for the students. What about the mothers with small children, the youth? Because it's not only the students that need food. There are mothers out there who need to feed their children. They need to feed themselves. He never said anything about minimum wage. From the last government that increased minimum wage to 1,000, nothing has happened. Who are the real voters in Zambia? Who are the people you go to cry to? The people in the village are the ones that give you maximum votes, maximum votes. It's not the town people that get up to vote. They're just a small percentage. He talked about not paying suppliers because they could not prove what they supplied. He actually said, we don't pay them because they cannot prove to tell us what is it that they supplied. I don't know whether he wanted to see the things they supplied physically brought to him. For example, if somebody supplied beans, do you expect that beans to be sitting there so that once a new president comes, he can be shown the proof? I really don't know. And you know, he talks Mumapinda, you know, in between the lines. You can tell who he's targeting. Come out in the open. On electricity, I found it really a sham, Queen Impumi. Allow me to talk about this electricity. Yesterday, we were on this forum talking with Munia Zulu about electricity. I mentioned that Cornelius Mwitwa was on the media saying that there's nothing they can do apart from increase the prices, and they will base it the same way they based pay as you earn, where the people who live in high density areas will pay less, and the people who live in affluent areas, the high income areas like Kabulonga, Woodlands, Ibex, Rhodes Park, will pay a high figure. And I questioned myself, how will you work this out? Because there are old people who have retired, who have worked in the civil service, who still live in these affluent areas, who earn nothing. How will you expect them to pay these high tariff charges, you know? And then he went on, you know, he went on to say, the PF are about, you know, business. For him, it's a business, Queen Mpumi. He said UPND is here to run this country with a business mind. That's what he said. He said he signed up deals with neighboring countries, promising them electricity, and he cannot cancel those electricity deals as these will push these countries to go elsewhere. You know, he said we can generate 10 gig, you And that 10 gig, once we generate it, our usage for the whole country will be about 3 or 4 gigs. And so if we push away these countries that we signed deals with, what will happen with the bulk 5,000 megawatts that we will remain with, you know? And then he talked about Zambians having $2 billion sitting in private accounts. And he wants to use their money into power purchase agreement. Queen Impumi, I was shocked. Because that's my money. That is poor Missouri's money. That is all the Zambians' money. Who gives the president the right to go peeping in people's accounts? Unless you suspect that that money was fraudulently acquired. But I guess for him to say he wants to partner with them, you know, and use their money for power purchase agreement, then that must be clean money. So why can't he use his money for these deals? He is a businessman, you know. He's a businessman. So you run your business with other people's money, you know, like seriously, run your business in other, run the business of the country in other sectors, you know, and not use people's money to run it to bring it into politics. They are not politicians. You know, they are the men and women who save their money. If he had said that money was fraudulently acquired, that the money he took away from Faith Musonda and generated it into a good cause, I would understand. But don't put everybody in a bandwagon and decide to use their money, and he says in the end he'll give them some form of interest. So for him, it's all about business, you know. Did our president come to sell the country? The answer is no. He came to redeem the Zambians that were suffering, and not to cut deals, because what he is doing is cutting deals, Queen Impumi, and it's really a sad.
Can I just ask you, so who's giving him the power to cut these deals? Like, are these things being approved in Parliament, or is he just making these decisions on his own?
Queen Impumi, I don't know if you know what a capitalist is. The capitalists do not care about the suffering of the people. They come in with so many deals really to enrich themselves. And for me, what I know, our president has a big capacity of putting a suggestion on the table, and at the end of the discussion, he comes out victorious. You know, it is like people are scared to talk. If you look at that press briefing, Queen Impumi, correct me if I'm wrong, I only saw 3 cabinet ministers. I saw the Lusaka province minister, Sheo Mudiata. I saw local government, Gary Nkombo, and I saw our energy minister, you know. Those were the only cabinet ministers that I saw, unless there was somebody else, you know. But then again, I think for HH, he is very intimidating. He will intimidate you. Even the press felt intimidated, you know, because the next day the next time there was a young lady, I think her name was Kombe. She brought a question about load management, and he answered exactly what I've explained. And then he told this young lady, Kombe, you journalists, I don't trust you. You must learn to report correctly. So if it's you tomorrow, you're going to say HH sacrifices the Zambians for the Zimbabweans.
But in hindsight, that's exactly what he has done. He's
And
done
can I just comment before you are still on that point? So you mentioned to say this country, the president is a capitalist and is running the country as a capitalist country. But I want to say that myself, I have lived in a capitalist country for 23 years. America is a capitalist society, but every house has running water. Every house has running water. Every house has electricity. The basic needs are met. For me, this is my thing. It's like, I don't care what any ruling government does. Take care of the people. We want running water. We want roads. We want sanitation. We want food on our table. Affordable food, shelter, housing. I don't care. You can say all these billions you have in your Bank of Zambia, but what are you doing for the people? What are you doing for medicine? If you patala, Zambians are human beings. Zambians are human beings. Zambian tengombe. Tengombe wakafika turuchelo. Wamwiswile chibia chikadie chani chauma. Ngani musama. Waiswile chibewe achikadie chani chauma. Ngakunisonga ni mureni season. Ingombe shiraba blessed. No kudie chani cha soft. We human beings are complex. And the basis of ruling any government, of ruling people, is providing basic human rights. And for me, what pains me in this whole press briefing is I didn't see anything to alleviate the sufferings of the people. But instead, I heard Fimba Upoke, Waberega Wadia, which is what brings me to vulnerable people. Ifilema, minimum wage is not addressed. People are getting 1,200 a month. So how can people survive? Even if they work, government is your policy to regulate, put in place protections to protect people, to ensure people have enough money, have enough pay to sustain them through the month. So these are my concerns. I'll just sorry to cut you short. You can finish off, but for me, that is my wound that I'm dealing with. Like, I feel really let down.
Yes, Queen Impume, thank you very much for that contribution. Yes, the USA has alleviated the lives of the people. And so they can afford to run the country as capitalists because they have taken care of the masses. For us Zambians, first of all, we do not have that, we haven't gotten to that stage where everybody can run a normal life, where you get a minimum wage, where you have free running water, where you have electricity, even in the villages where you have a low cost of the staple food that they depend on. So you are deprived of the staple food, you are deprived of fertilizer, you are deprived of CDF that he came on today, by the way, Queen Impumi, and boasted. We all heard about CDF yesterday. I don't think we want to go there. He talked about CDF is there. You can just go, it's just sent, just like that. In the morning, your CDF is approved. In the afternoon, your CDF is in your constituency. What are these people complaining about? We all know the bureaucracy around CDF. And so people should learn to tell the truth. They shouldn't lie. Bring your country to good standards before you start boasting. Stop cutting deals with foreigners. For me, Queen Impumi, the whole press conference was hollow, to say the least. He has to learn to address the sufferings of the people. Queen Mpumi, you and I know that people are begging for money left, right, and center every day. Kashinga mwabuka fyo luchelo walasanga ama message pama phone full nga phone kona 20 kwacha 50 kwacha, and you know the amounts they ask are scary. They are really scary. I ask myself, what are you going to do with 50 kwacha? But then for them, at least they'll be able to buy a loaf of bread, to sugar,
to salad, to sugar, everything. It's small. I'm like, you know, it's just painful. It's painful. But yeah, I'll let you wind up, and then Mama can come in. Or Mama is on. So I think she got a call. Yeah.
So then he talked about he watches most of these programs that go live online, you know, because when he was speaking, I could tell that he watches these programs, you know. So don't ever be cheated. When people come on and start crying and saying, President Tabeshiba, Tabeshiba, if it's Muchalo, Baleshiba, Mwebantu Bakwalesa, Balamona, let's not be cheated. He is very, very much aware. And so for us, our job is just to give good checks and balances. We don't come here to insult, you know, to disrespect the president, but I'm glad that he listens, and maybe our contributions will make him, you know, make good policies for this country, you know, and, you know, alleviate the sufferings of the people, so that, you know, we are tired of always, all the time a new government comes in, people start complaining. Every government that has come in, unless the government of Mwanawasa, which was short-lived by his death, may his soul rest in peace. But I bet you, even if Mwanawasa had stayed up to 5 years, people would have found something else to blame him for. And then there was the government of Mr. Sata, who came in for the pro-poor. Mr. Sata, believe you, may his soul rest in peace. Even him, had he stayed longer, people would have found something wrong, you know. Abantu balira fyokulya ukulya n'okwikala bwino bakwata amenshi bakwata emiti mu kipatala. By the way, Queen Mpumi, kudos to UPND. Kudos. Today on the news, the government has received medicines. It was on the news. They've received a lot of medicines, and by next week they will be distributing these medicines to all the health institutions. So kudos to them. It is something that the Zambians have been crying for. Well done. Thank you, Queen Mpumi.
Thank you. So yes, guys, we are here. We are talking about the press briefing, how we feel about it, and let me just today we're trying to keep it to 1 hour. So let me just talk about my take. So I have my points here, so I'll just go down my list so I don't miss anything. So the first thing I want to talk about is suppliers. Now, I received in my inbox to say this gentleman, he was a supplier and he was PF. And he was crying to me to say the UP and this new Dawn government have failed to pay him. So he actually told me, say he has run away from his home for 6 months. He has run away because he has failed to pay the people who he got goods and services from, because the government has not paid him because he is a PF. Guys, so this is what is happening. And this is at the divisions which are coming in the country, because I can say that the president is disconnected from reality, what is happening in all the government institutions. These people in government institutions who are in charge to pay suppliers, they are picking and choosing whom to pay, guys. It's really sad. The president has to be in touch with the people and make sure that we have equal opportunities, equal treatment of all Zambians. We are all Zambians. Let this government, starting from the president himself, I wish the president can remove some of the words he uses when he's addressing the country. Such words like "tusaka twandalama." I feel the president should stop using those languages because they are discriminatory, they are harassing the opposition whom has already lost. Mr. President, sir, now I am addressing the president himself. Sir, your speech is wonderful, but I think it is not presidential for you to keep referring to a fallen government in your address. Every time, after every paragraph, every topic, you have to mention Utusaka Tuandalama. That is cheap politics, sir. Delete that, delete it. We Zambians are not interested to hear you say Utusaka Tuandalama. Those people, they already lost. They are already lost. You are in power. Just tell us what you are doing for the people of Zambia. That is my point on suppliers. On healthcare, medicines have come 1 year, 6 months late. 1 year, 6 months late. Mr. President, you came in power in the promise of love, in a promise of democracy, in a promise of openness to the people, in a promise of humility. We are asking you, Mr. President, that you continue, you deliver your promises. The way you talk to people, we expect you to be humble, Mr. President. One thing which touched my heart in your speech, Mr. President, you talked about go and work. But in your speech, in your address, you are forgetting the invisible people. You are forgetting that they are old women, they are widows. You are forgetting that there are people who work low jobs, who are being paid 1,500 a month. People in farms are getting 500 kwacha a month. The dollar today is at 18 kwacha. Mr. President, as a Democrat president, where is your heart? Where is your heart to provide for every Zambian? Where is your heart to feel that every Zambian is eating, he has eaten? Mr. President, sir, please, I am addressing to you directly because you are addressing Zambians, but then there are issues like your speech is not comforting. You are the father of the nation. Your national address, Mr. President, is not a time for you to start bashing PF who have already lost. Mr. President, when you make an address, you are addressing Zambians who are looking to you for answers. To say, what are we going to do? We are receiving fertilizer, Muma Meda. We have no medicines in the hospitals. We are seeing a MOU was signed with America. We don't have details. We are saying that you are going to make a contract with the Congo. Congo is one of the worst countries in Africa in practicing democracy. And this is the country we are going to sign to do business with. We are worried. Congo does not even produce enough food for its people. And these are the people we are partnering with. Many Zambians are uncomfortable about Zambia partnering with Congo because we know Congo's reputation. On electricity, on load shedding, we hear two different stories. We hear the water level is low, and from the president's speech, we hear it's about numbers. We gotta make money. So which is which, Mr. President? Are you sacrificing your Zambians' economic development for South Africans, Zimbabweans, Tanzanians, and Namibians? It is wrong. Zambians must be put first. if we have extra power, electrify Zambia. Zambia is only 40% electrified. I expected the new government to come and have projects to electrify Zambia at 100%. Zambia is only electrified at 40%. Now that 40%, you are even grabbing power from them. You are sacrificing, your government is sacrificing its people and exporting power to Botswana, not Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Zimbabwe. It's a shame. It is a shame, really, because the other countries, they are buying power for their people, but our government is actually selling, taking away power from its people.
Even in a country, in a home, Queen Mpumi, you cannot leave your children hungry and go and feed your neighbor's children.
Yes.
You first make sure that your children have eaten before you look at your neighbors next door. And that's exactly what he is doing. And you know, this blame game, I just want to humbly warn the president. This will, you know, will make him lose an election.
We are tired. We don't want to hear anything about Tusaka Tuandalama. It's like you are being mocked. We don't have Tusaka Tuandalama. We ordinary Zambians, we don't have Tusaka Tuandalama. It's you, Mr. President, and all the other people you are appointing who are counting kwachas and dollars. The rest of Zambia, they are just kwachi tu koko. Ama Zambia nobody kwachi tu koko. Olo nimu bana banshiwa banina balifwa, and they have nowhere to look to. Zambia gave you the mandate to sort out PF. Have you arrested them? No. So why do you continue saying Utsaka Tuandalama when you have even failed to arrest them? What is the whole point of keeping to refer to them? When you have not arrested them, these people, they are enjoying life, and their cases, some of them, they have been dismissed. So I'm saying we are being mocked. We are being mocked as Zambians right now. Every morning when I wake up, I see a message. People are complaining. Able-bodied people, they are complaining because they have no opportunities to make money. And thanks to the new dawn, now let me come to the issue of civil servants. You know, they are taking, we have seen a trend to say these people who were speaking, apparently speaking for the poor, they have all been given government jobs, starting from Paku, Munsha, Pilato, Ineli Moti, Chipenzi. These are the people who were talking against PF. And these people were supposed to continue to offer checks and balances to the current government. Now, what has happened is these people, they have been brought in this government. So it means those people have been shut down. These people have been shut down. Last week, I was in a group, a WhatsApp group, and somebody made a clip of me talking. Somebody made a clip of me talking, and they posted that clip in that group. And there was one lady, she called herself a doctor from diaspora, Dr. whatever, I won't say her name. So after she saw my video, then she was like, who is this one? You know, who is this one? These are the people who wanted jobs, but they are now frustrated. They are coming to talk against New Dawn. That was the comment from that lady. And I answered her. So it was a back and forth. I'm like, I never wanted any job. You don't even know me. So stop spreading lies about me. And the lady went, hey, you are my human rights, yavu fee. I'm a human rights, yavu fee. We know the only human rights advocates we know are Laura, Miti, and Lucy Sichone. So I was like, wow. So Zambians, we are so backward in our mind that we only stick to the old school human rights activists who have now been absorbed in this government as to shut them up. So I would like the parliamentaries, the members of parliament, to actually change this law, which is saying that if you become a civil servant, you can't participate in politics. Because the last time I checked, when I was a teacher at Chifumu Secondary School there in Indola, the civil servants were in the forefront to change Zambia from one party to multi-party. Civil servants are the right people to talk about politics because most of them, they are educated and they understand what they are talking about. But I don't know where this thing came from of saying when you are a civil servant, you cannot talk about political matters. It is a way of shutting people up. And for me, I want to challenge anyone, any well-meaning Zambian who has been appointed in the civil service to decline the appointment if they really wanted to speak for the people and not really get the job. Mr. Munsha, if you were, as you were saying, as you were campaigning on TV Bakwetu, Ba Munsha, if you really wanted to campaign, to talk for the voiceless of this, for the voiceless in Zambia, Mr. Munsha, you should have declined that appointment. To say, no, if I take this appointment, I will be compromised. I cannot speak. Who will be there to talk for Zambians? Pilato said, Pilato should be like, no, I cannot take this civil servant appointment because I will not be able to speak for the Zambians. So we are saying
So tulia tu munsha na tu chipakupaku twaikele fye mu America omo tule chula limbita twale mona pono nefya akudya twalelo era
my sister, Mama, Nick, in America you can't suffer. Even if you're doing the smallest job, there is a minimum wage. People here, you only suffer if you want. There is a minimum wage. So for me, I'm saying these people we were campaigning together. We were campaigning together for change. They have all been taken in as civil servants. Decline those appointments. Decline those appointments so we continue fighting for Zambia. Because now we have bigger problems than we had in PF. Because we had the government.
Queen Mpumi, with all due respect, I think utotu inetu munsha na tuchipakupaku twale chula. Even if you say in America takwa bobu chushi, twale chula.
No,
because
you know what? Like some people, they just want that prestige. They just want that prestige of saying. Actually, well, not even prestige. At this point, I think these people were lying to Zambians. They used Zambians to campaign for UPND, and they were promised jobs to say, when we come in power by UPND, you can be chito. So actually, these people fooled us. Aba Elias Musha, Naba Chipakupaku, no, you in Tishan Pilato, and the Laura Meet na Chipezi won't say they all fooled Zambians. They all fooled us because if they were really for the people, they could have declined those appointments. If I were to be appointed today, I will decline that appointment because I have seen how this government is working. I cannot fit in. I cannot work with them. I don't believe in their principles. There is no transparency. They are frustrating people, you know. They are like, this government is like the devil's advocate. Their operatives here, they are there watching for comments. We can't work with such a government. I can't.
I just equally want to confirm as well. I am not a praise singer. Even if this government offered me a job, I will never take it for reasons best known to myself. I will never take it. And these people who take ututu too much, after 5 years, you never know how long a party will stay. What could happen?
Because the political career is finished. You cannot take a job after campaigning day and night. You are the first one to take the appointment. Please.
Yeah.
When you know that job where you cannot talk, can they say anything? Okay. If they really care, let them come and condemn them at that thing. Let them condemn it. So that to let them start working for the people. Because would you choose number? Hello, would choose to would number? Will I qualify no because we were lied to, we were betrayed. We were promised a land of milk and honey. So no much to carry to show what when about to take that. But to take
Bakwini mpumi na chilafu afe wetu umwana wetu naye nasose kwa mashiwi. I've
got 2 more points. Later.
Hello.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, my ladies. I always follow you on this page, and you are 1 in a million. That's why today I said let me join. I say a few words as well because I've been following. There are very few Zambians who are in diaspora who can speak for the people of Zambia. Indeed, when you look at here in Zambia, people are suffering. And we thought that the coming of UPND, then people of Zambia are going to liberate it. Now, it looks like now Zambians have gone back 20 steps backwards, which means that like today, I want just to comment about the press conference which the president had. What I was expecting the president was to first reshuffle. Because when you look at in most of the ministries, they are underperforming. I was expecting the president to fire some of like Minister of Health, Agriculture. You know, these are the education, commerce, small and medium. Nothing is happening. In fact, in all the ministries. Now he has brought in. He used to condemn PF when they were now making 2 permanent secretaries in each ministries. They have gone back to the same system where now they are trying to appoint cadres who are now taking responsibility because they want to get a benefit out of it. Now, when you look at Zambian people at the moment, they are not looking at the appointments. They want solutions, how they are going to alleviate their poverty. Now, when you look at UPND, they want to praise, especially President Hakainde Hichilema, is now trying to appease those who worked, those who advocated, which is not good. 20 million Zambian people are watching. And the president, if he is not careful, by the end of the day, it's him which people are going to be looking at and talking about him. So the president is not listening. And again, which I've observed in that press conference, the president is not given proper information, especially where I want to speak about ZESCO. ZESCO is saying they have cleared cadres. Okay, they are saying they have cleared cadres, but what is happening now at ZESCO is worse than what used to happen in PF. They are employing cadres without qualification. And they are employing cadres only one tribe and the other tribes, and they are firing people to repress people in the name of redundancy. So the president is not given proper information. So that's why by the end of the day, the president looks like he has no information. The president should do due diligently that the MD, Victor Mapan, is killing UPND and the president. I concur with you, Madam Queen Mpumi, when you said the MD for ZESCO has failed. He has elementally failed because he's failing to provide leadership, and he has failed. All what he wants is just to bring people who are, you know, the regional tribe and so forth. Even right now, as I'm speaking, yesterday, the day before yesterday, people were receiving letters, they were fired. Most of them are Easterners and Northerners. So where are we going as a part, as a country? Then two, when you look at these people who are being fired in all these, a civil servant, parastatal, and so forth, these are the people who voted for UPND and today are perceived to be PF. So you find that because the president has no information, and I wonder where the OP, why are they not giving him information? Because this is the duty of the OP. They were supposed to be on the ground to say, Mr. President, this is the information we have. The president, when he comes out on the press conference, people should always concur with the poor Zambians. So that's why you find today people are crying. Why people are they crying? Their hope was President HH. Now, it seems now he has diverted all what he thinks is about the people who helped him to be where he is. He should forget about those people. This is the time, Ukulandati, that Pamanja Chondifika Chindifike. He has just to kwapula, whether it's whoever supported him, if they are not performing, it's him who is failing. So the people of Zambia, they were just watching and they are quiet. And when people of Zambia, when they are quiet, the president should get consent. Why am I saying so? Zambians, they are docile, but they will come and act in 2026. And these are just the few words I wanted just to contribute, and I appreciate and continue advocating. You are the mothers. The mothers, I have respect because you always keep a child for 9 months until when someone is born, he becomes like me to start and contributing. It's not an easy, and you are speaking for us, and you are speaking for every Zambian. Continue speaking. When you speak the truth, people, they will still call you names, they will call you whatever, but the truth of the matter is that what is happening today in Zambia, people are not happy. People are suffering. People are now suffering more than the way it were in PF. So I want just to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. You know, you brought up a point about reshuffles. You know, for me, I expected reshuffles, like really. Because in any job, which Tofie Leon says, since our president is a capitalist, he runs organizations, you have a probation period. These ministers or his appointees, they have surpassed the probation period. Probation period mostly is 3 months. People have been complaining. We are going on 2 years. His appointments, the president's appointments have failed. Some of these ministers, they are failures. Probation period, Peter. So what is our president telling us? That he's going to accept failures in his government? Why can't he reshuffle his ministers? Because the voters, the noise is coming from the voters to say our president, we have problems in this ministry, that ministry, but he's not doing his job. I am just here to say, our president, you will be fired if you don't clean up your which obviously you have showed us you have refused. For you to come today and not reshuffle people, it means no reshuffling will happen. We have been given, and you know what, we have been given a fimbo pocket, as they would say it. So in the reshuffles, forget about it, fimbo pocket. He's not going to move anyone. And then we are talking about the civil servants. I talked a little bit about that. I'm moving forward to the mines. I watched a little bit of it, and I heard him speak to say nobody is selling mines. They are just working on restructuring the payments and stuff. And he was talking about 20%. I am like, really? Zambia, after 60 years of independence, if we are going to partner with any mining company, Zambia should get 51%. It's an insult for Zambia to be receiving 20% from any mining partnership in the country. It has to end, guys. This is not what we campaigned for. I also heard the president say, just go and apply and get your mining license. It is difficult for our youth to get license. People are inboxing me to say they have been there, they have paid all the fees. They can't give them the licenses. The president is disconnected from reality. Meanwhile, foreigners are getting licenses. Why? The president came to USA over here, and he already signed a deal with the Gates and the Bezos to open a mine. What about Zambians who are crying there? Even Tanzanians have mining licenses in Mumba there. What is going on? This thing of favoring foreigners at the expense of Zambians. And this thing of borrowing, why are we borrowing money when we have the world's largest producer of emeralds? Calcium mines, Kuria. We are only getting 25%. Why should they go to IMF when they can go to borrow money from Kajem? Or the other mining companies that are in Africa there, that are actually in Zambia, that have been operating and have been getting 90%, have been given tax break. Why can't they borrow money from there? But instead it's talking about taking money in Zambian accounts. When the miners have been mining copper since the colonial, why can't they go and borrow money from Glencore or Vendetta or one of those companies instead of IMF? Interest free.
Or Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Zambian, a collective amount of Zambians in here, go to the miners. These people have been taking our wealth for centuries. Go to them. We are tired. We want Zambians to own 51% share of any mine. Even the mining contracts that have been there, they can be reviewed. It's our land. We cannot continue like this and expect to advance and treat Zambian beings as casualties. Oh, if so many people die, it's okay. We have bills to sign. We have deals to sign. Meanwhile, in the process, Zambian lives are like flies. They don't care. They don't give a damn what happens to Zambian lives. They don't give a damn. That's why they can go and sign and export power to our neighbors while our people are going to suffer. Our Tuma Saluni, everything is based on electricity. Other people, they are still waiting for electricity to be taken to them. So how is Zambia going to be electrified when you are taking the power to giving other people? You are sacrificing our people. For other presidents care more for their people than our own. South African president will pay a lot of money so that the people can have power there in South Africa and their businesses run. But our president and our ZESCO want to shut down our economy through exporting power for 9 hours. I'm told some people, they are actually experiencing 9 to 8 hours load shedding. It's a shame. It is a shame. We are being fixed is all I can say. We are being fixed.
Indeed,
I think Mama Chika Monica has had a hand up for quite a while.
I can't see. Oh, sorry. I don't know. For some reason, I can't see your nan. Let me see. My screen is blank here. Papa, Pale Monica Finan. Mama, go ahead. I'm done talking.
Okay. Twatotela mkwaipa mashibuya ya kankala. Ayo twanfo okufuma kuli bamama matipa na kuli bamama kweni pumi na kumwana omwaume kwena apana tukwate shuko ikalamba sana ili akusambirire fintu ifingi sana kuli imwe mweba tumweba kwecho obwisilo okuchira pali ifwe bwino kanshi na pali aya mashibu mwasosa pamashibu ya chilandikwa kuli bakateka wesu abachalo chesu cha Zambia ine mama chikamonekana lalanda pofye fintu finono sana na lalanda pamlandu wa kutila ine na chita expect kutila bakateka limbi balalanda pamalisha force ukumona fye kwafyo abantu balerira mu kyalo pama social media umwana omwaume mukukalira kakintu bwingi bengi abalerira ama voice notes abantu balerira ukudandaula madandaulo so inena chila muno kutila pali filia fiance filia pitinga na mchalo tu Gambia lelo wakateka wala filanda pono kuishiwa kutila no bushani bana ni balelengo kutila abantu balerirefi nangu chishi chilele kutila grassroots yonse irerira kabili na pali fiance fi bachisosa pamlandu wa CDF na kale ine mama chika mone kanda soso kutila CDF chiriba nifili abakulu balanda ati mumbwe mpashi aitire mpashi shamuguba CDF mumbwe aitire mpashi shamuguba CDF CDF yufuika pakanwa kubantu tayaba ni mailona liku kanso bandita abantu bamuwalenje bano pa kanso pali ba director umo ali kwa 50 elwala yufu noku ati once yenga napoka indalama shonseshi nishinaleka nenchito echo nala ndio kwa chachi nevya ba munya zulu ala ndio kutila CDF is a scam chachi na inena libera bunte ku CDF kutila CDF ikaleta olwa isiro mushi ngaba bapela ngashaisa apwa kaili CDF baleshtamwe myotoka bashtamona na mafoni ya mtengo baupira mona bakashana no mbanga chako bachishapo kulienda lamu bakaya kwi nishina balunda pona no lupwana lumira bafyalira pona bambya aba bakaya kwi so kanchi CDF ini tayari support kula iforesha muri musango ine mama chikamane kona chimwene fe palwandi neka efyo na mwene lo twale campaign ero naleve misepelo kutila foyen kateka uwala mipangira foundation isuma na mwene mfintu ifinju kutila nga kwa isa government ya new bali no pisa chitari vam utu ampa nitumotu bali no pisa chitari vam utu ampa nitumotumo pakutila abana besu bakengire kweshanchito bakesa chitari vam Zambia Airways bakesa chitari vam Mulungu Textiles bakesa chitari vam Kapili Glass bakesa chitari vam Kafue Nitrogen Chemical utu etu ampani otona mwenye kutila ngacha kutila kwa iso mteko mwanyu bakesa making sure kutila basana secure impanga ile ya shalanga Zambia ya ilikuwa 50 meters away gazetted land iyo land ya kutila po service nyanzi abasungu pakushahidi ya 50 meters away from the rail bali shibyo kutila oko tulea kuntanshi population mchalo cha Zambia ikakula bantu aka company ka Zambia Airways kali kwa tabanchi kwa bengi apali ama fitters bashanta ma locomotive drivers bali kwa tanama nama examiners bali kwa tanama bashanta kanshaba na bengi mintapendwa kuti baingire shanchito nomba twaisa sango kuti Zambia Airways batampo kuti vandalize amasli ipa yonse nyanji bale senda bale mkushicha kusa Afrika bale mkuchita mea bale sangula bale pangira mwe myotoka scrap ya chalo cha switcha Zambia yonse na batunta mchalo cha Zambia tapani nakale shala bale mkushicha kusa Afrika ukuli yaba kwa tamano muno mchalo cha switcha Zambia bale senda bale tuwala kusa Afrika ukuli yaba amano pantu muno mchalo cha switcha Zambia tuli madanda head na isa kona kabili kumulua wa Mulungushi Textiles ngamwa yapa yapa Mulungushi baleta ba investor bachimperesha ichifira bati baleta ma investors bese bateri vamp Zambia ilya Mulungushi Textiles takwa bechalo chakwate pya kuipandire fiance na toothpick toothbrush na matches nenyere tiyakubirira takwaba ineshamona efintu fimofyona lemo nokutila nga chakuba tuteko bwachinja ukesalolekesha pafyaso nomba epo twalifirwa okutali vampu twampani utwashiri abantu abashasambirira abantu abashakweta amasambirwa yakalamba pali bakaunda ba Simon Mwasaka pwetu ilio bafuile bapokera obuntu bw'okintu very active epo twalifirwa tufuile nomba ekyala twa from Zambia ekyo nalandire evimpamulandu w'amashumi n'akyumfa bakateeka bakiranda ati emashumi mbuulire pofi akiranda okutila mulebo mbesha ngafyafuna ndeba mama kwini mpumi ati waberega walya wabomba ero walya wabomba ero walya ero futi bakiranda okutila no bunangani muli banangani bunangani ubunangani bumbokoya bumwikala kishasha butambalale mufunye na isa kuli waberega walya abomba mukyalo kya Zambia banono abashibomba eminta pendwa abachuba ebengi abawina banono kusana mungufa abasambirira banono abashasambirira bengi abachula bengi abakankala banono so kanshi nga kyali ukutira tulefa abantu balebomba inchito nga twali balirapo ukutita identify ama farm blocks in each province yali ama farm blocks ishinda la mashama CDF bayakulira motuma ndo kusuma sana kuma farm blocks babika kona Mari Creation Center ero babacha introduce kusambisha abana agribusiness amakwebo no bulimi pantu tapali chala afwa Africa okufunya kapowe nangu poverty ichala twafa Africa ni asa pantu alifirwa ukuchita revamp ama companies ya shile isikolwe African soil against poverty ero nga batidify ama farm blocks nga balibika kwefunde lya kutila onso mwana okwete 25 years and above ushile kitanangu chimu kumwikate ekibalo okumutwala mukulima takuli
We have lost the signal. Mama Chichi. Paul Black, can you come in?
Okay.
Yeah,
I just want to.
so you can just wind down, and then Mama Matipa, you can your last comments. So Mama is no, but yeah. Paul Black, go ahead.
So muli issue ya wabereka walya. I think it's simple and in Tonga era that wabo mboro walya. Kufahamu kairi kwala abatala mukusakwira ara ekatakwe plao so baraswako chibwabwa na shani bara epika baralya. And that's wabereka walya. It's different from town. Mu town muno ufire wa mukufwa kwenga kuma industry yaba mwenye eko wasanga wakpera kwenga nitets kwacha abakashana baresko to botoroshan ma industry ya mundoro. So bakateke nga baranda work then you eat. I think ama industry bafuire ba study vamp ama industry ya bafuire pale so ntopo mwenanda wabereka walya pamoneka kumoneka go to Kabwe life ya kukabwe yali pisane ya mkopa belt kukabwe abantu batemu okulima. That's why amanda yali chipa inshi but when it comes kumpia yali afya. It is because he country tamuchitire secure okokwinoko barabereka because iyo board yo malenda that barambo kwimba at the same miners abakaraimba board nokurasha nokuratwara ku government kuria, it will not actually also create a lot of employment kuma youths because abembeyo ineko boards varishikwa kare. So ingatwaranda tawe vero tiara sta create apefire fuaika. It's the issue to change with mindsets. Edo twaingram government, you cannot say twara kanya ka something that's ka something. So what's the definition ya ka something nakoken? Because that's why when you reach actually a level of presidents, there are certain terms. Era chanda papa kuinimpumi yako watakasaka kandarama ka something Ibrahim game taparo ko yara tutwara. Apechire fuaika pecha kweba ati tufuire twamba bonso kurashita contribute no kusanka nyama idea pine turesa romba. The surprise part yakweba ati when you see if abantu baleranda bambi bararanda, no, these are against the president. Even though they over the parents, they were actually against na ina majenza over the panga number after po baba parents to PS. So in any mbona ku pema kritari ku youth ukonga kwa ma PS abiri nishina ku Minister of Finance na ko weekend command pa mubike kona umbi permanent secretary kairi nishi mulanda nishoro dishi. We don't know ngefintro fiara bako easy because nakwena ku Minister of Youth twachapa kwako Minister omwai chono tumkurwa not fair fintifya kwebati tule monafe because we are just appointing. I was very happy because I thought that the Minister of Health baramchinja korere na agriculture mbati Philippe Mofini and neshine mitishi shine. I think apa we have to make a routine to fure to ambok check because them itishiresa fe kumenso to amona fe paze bisika shai sambati futa abantu bamboku yoyomba mwana dabu atimbishara bachane odzimbifia kunima futi. So imiti shaisa nima ita nitumone so that tumone shwe imiti shwe ngashara ba delivered ma hospital abantu barapokera ero ba youth bushopa miti shishiro mzambia shoshine amarita peni amashani bushopo fili so twarambo kura checking so that nafotukalesa mkura pero but church neshiremi to amwene pa TV na shisa not for mutfenga waisa fiwafikira fe ku prison kuri akuine uma hospital mtaure fukom. So muti fofine wishire kuranda kwetu kuranda kwa bakwini mpumi kwa kwatawe imiti tashiri mu patara kurenga chaise emiti. So na momema njana amonga mukarachi tati umuntu ingambo kuranda dwenu so esho mpiyosho tumfira tishari mu banki abantu barayingirira munshi barafishita withdraw piyaka barambo kurashitwara kuma auction account South Africa oko it means that Muzambia food twarayo mba Muzambia tamwabendarama. So bakateka if baranda tinyonia Muzambia muno I think nanguka 40% kuba ingisha amofye ekutemwa ngabali tutemwa ati tuli bana babo bengishemo then bena kuchaba ko yizo kuya mkupinda tawe inena alipo nebo kateka na ngune okateka mpere ni mpia shani nomba we muntu fye kwara bana mane rondarini kwara batimbi washifunisha mukasino mpia esho washifunya kuisa ukona ko ukwa kwambo afwa ekisha abantu batufunisha kuisa mpia. I think Zambia fota ile pamu because inenkwate ko 2 million atiyo net paper fya kupakra so that's why impia msecretion sharamba kwatikura shupa ko because kwarabati ngana kwate nga 3 billion iyo na right wala ku electricity first share shingire ko impia shanzero bakambo kumpira ko pano. I think Bank Association of Zambia na ba World Bank bafure baekala pamo bamona wewe benga afira mushire mpia bashireka fesha abantu fira fine kairi na ene nga wabika mumienu barakwe bati ni hodini barakupera omunando. So it simply means kumitoko ndeshita ko emphasize ba youth bonse femwe bakwata manani kane ambeni kura ma clinic kumuna mufati imiti and nesho we have to see ama batch number ya drugs na voucher supply later tufire twai mona ba iposta no kuiposta inaona kabili ati imiti na shifika ma hospital. And not only that turefwa no kumona nima first by kanseko because healthcare system munamukumona kwanzi mbona kwati yashimpira munini manomba ingaba mpofu na ba youth abatabakwete filifyonsa ngakuma hospital ayo teri mi umuntu nganaro arakatuma STDs bara kunima na ena echo abantu fenomba ba youth na abafurwa fe kwambe fokuratandisha fyo ubwino obudwero obubwa ma STIs obubwine wafumo ko kwineta bakupere nchito na urwara nama STDs parasti kuya fe mukura chinjanye chikopo mati bimashani. So abantu bari efitira mofye. So it's to making sure that government if you know for that a lot of employment ya posa kwa mano. Inomo ndechi mona fe mampumi yako about what they want to do is they apa if into cost of living yara kosa ko paktu tubweshe ya IMF dio paktu tukapoke ikuru nomba mukuchulira mokwa afile vota twachulire mwa a kashingani ife akushupa na ba IMF but mushitoko fe reduce ubunga na saradi then na transport. But for the drugs nifine baranda popa kwini mpumi twaisa pato ailishanya ko patubunga so about 2 minutes not we so to not tomorrow 2 minutes but we have to prove for me shoshine that therefore na if our case some that those are expired drugs already pahani itremu pere mpia sha free nimo mwe barelanda mwebe na tawe bare sta procure expired drugs but futa abantu mombe na tashire expired katwishinga ni njuka kuralira abantu engano mba ifo batabantu ine ko wate
no campaign wa makruk bali bepesha abantu to you know they got into power through lies.
No.
Some of these things they used against
No, but
abantu nomba tubabilivya ati ba PF bali kitefi abantu bafura bavotorola ba PF ubibulaya nokubwera.
So does it mean if Mpumi fere pirato ka position, does it mean nashia naena tesi ya wani nishafira sta create cooperative ingefaba to watu sta create cooperative. We don't want abantu.
You know in a problem because every Zambia need to eat. They should not be giving job who are landa bampeleng. So meanwhile millions of people are starving. Apo mkwachile problem wapo. The government should have equal opportunities for all. Ensure that abantu bonse balele they have food on their table for to fire. What about the 2.8 million voters? What about the 20 million Zambians? What are they eating? You know? This thing of they become civil servants. They can't talk for the people. So many farmers Zambian mukati. They want Zambians to say also Zambian ayaluka civil servant. Then once you become a civil servant, it's a conflict of interest. You can't talk against your employer. It's ridiculous. And if it's okay if they do that, if the economy is okay, mamon. Economy but the situation, the way things are happening now, it requires people to get up and speak and stand up for the voiceless and stand up for 70% of the Zambians who are under 25 years of age. Stand up for the 9-point-something million Zambians who are under 17 years of age. We need those. We need to unite and ask the government to deliver a quality life, adequate health care, food, shelter, it just can't be all about business. It's not about balancing your books. A country is not about profit or loss. This is where we are missing it, because we are looking at the country as about a profit or loss statement. But as a parent, when you have a parent, when you are a parent and you have children, you forget about profit or loss. You just think about feeding your children, even if you don't have the reserve, but make sure your children have food to eat. And that's what we are here to say. To say this government came on a promise of now we are not eating. Things are tight. So we have problems, guys, and we are entering on a new year with a press briefing that is not sitting well with most of us. And to conclude, I just thought that maybe, God willing, he's gonna come up and give everybody a Christmas bonus. 500 everyone. Kapokenya mama Christmas bonus. But Okay. So I guess, you know, we just have to see what happens next year. I guess we end here. Last comments, Mama Matipa, before we go.
Yes, thank you, Queen Impumi. I heard Mr. Paul there talk about the IMF deal. I don't think he was here when I said this government has signed this government has signed an IMF deal according to the president's press briefing today at 0.8 interest, and they will work within their parameters, within UPND's parameters. And they have signed $1 for $1, you know, and he also talked about having problems with the people that supported him. To say the people that supported him were saying the president is employing these people. Now, when I heard these people, I wondered who these people were. And then he said, these people made us suffer. Why are you so weak? And then the president said, I am at pains to explain to people who supported me. They think I'm their enemy. They are angry with me, you know, because when I employ other people, my own people come to attack me. So it's like these people from a certain region or what, you know? So it didn't really sit very well with me. And then he answered, he says, well, I'm employing everybody across society because I do not want to be like them, you know? So if, yes, he does not want to be like a previous government, we sincerely hope that he will employ professional people regardless of which society they come from. Because we are hearing news here that ZESCO is infiltrated by cadres. Cadres, some people are saying from one region or two regions. And then, you know, this we've talked about this blame game. When you lose elections, you know, you shouldn't really be a topic of discussion for close to 2 years. People are tired of this narrative. He talked about Queen Impumi, the interconnector between Zambia and Congo, as well as interconnector electricity between Zambia and Tanzania. I hope they have addressed the challenges that Congo is actually at war. I hope the deals they are making with Congo are deals that will really benefit this country, because we all know that Congo has been at war from time immemorial. The West infiltrated the Congo for their mines, and they are enjoying the fact that Congo is still at war, because this is their opportunity to get all the minerals out of that country. So I sincerely hope President HH has taken all these into consideration. You know, that Congo is at war, they change governments, you know, now and again. And I hope we'll not get to a situation where we will be affected regarding obtaining power from Congo because of the war that is going on. He equally touched on the rule of law. Now he has said, he's told his security wings, do not arrest anyone until you have sufficient evidence. I'm glad he has seen that, because it became a chipante arrest. He was arresting each and everyone just by, you know, a rumor. He hears something. That's when we saw this one is arrested, this one is released, you know. So I hope now they will do their due diligent investigations before an arrest is effected. And that person will be taken to court, and if they are guilty, charged; if they are innocent, released. Laura Mitty, I followed the conversation. For me, Laura Mitty, who is Laura Mitty? A cadre or a human or a human rights activist. You know, if I gave Laura Mitty a case today against the UPND, will she take my case? The answer is no. I had a case of assault with one UPND cadre. The case is still going on. I called Laura Mitty. I expected Laura Mitty to say, that is sad. I never expected this from the New Dawn government. Let me blow this case for you. Maybe you will get the attention. But instead, I was told to do other things. So if really you are a human rights activist, you should lead by example, you know? Lead by example. And who is Laura Mitty to doubt other people's qualifications? How does she doubt other people's qualifications? It is sad, really. And then the president, Queen Mpumi, says he is done negotiating deals and he has signed, and now Zambians will see results in 2023. So it brings me back to Mama Maria, what she said yesterday, no, vapeleniko vakateka, another 3 years. Well, we are here, we're watching. Now that he's done signing deals, because he's a dealer, and I hope these deals, you know, will come to fruition. There will be good results in these deals that he has signed. Finally, Queen Mpumi, I pray and hope that he will address the plight of the suffering Zambians and not praise singers to shut them up. Because now people we won't have enough people giving checks and balances. Whoever talks about the negatives will be silenced through a job. Then who will talk for the sufferings of the Zambians? There will be nobody at the end. And that's not the way to do things. It is not right. I think since we are winding up Queen Mpumi, today I want to bring the issue of Nelly Muti. The Nelly Muti pay back the money. Through my own investigations, I found out that Nelly Muti, the money she never paid this almost 30,000 civil servants.
3,000?
3,000 civil servants. She's actually enjoying a nole. And we all know what a nole is.
Mm-hmm.
But the only hope I can give Zambians is umulandu taubola. A nole means there was no sufficient evidence to prosecute Nelly Muti. But these people
when
are
somebody
still
received the money, right? No sufficient evidence.
So Nelly Muti, you can run and hide today, but one day the law will catch up with you. Thank you, Queen Mpumi.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow again. Kind of a sad day, but it's okay. You know, they have a 5-year mandate, and we'll be here, we'll be talking. We'll be here, we'll be talking, and we will just, I guess it's up now, because our Lumendo offer my checks and balances, they have been given jobs. So now the women, let's rise up. Let's rise to the challenge and offer checks and balances. Otherwise, the way things are going, we are here to talk for the vulnerable. I'm not here to talk for somebody who can work. No, I would not even waste my time if all the Zambians were able-bodied and they had their jobs, their equal opportunities were there. I would not waste my time. We are talking here because Zambians are disadvantages. Opportunities are not there. This current government is a kapatulula. UPND nagaleta kapatulula. They are doing the same things the PF was doing and even worse. We had our honorable minister to say the country is toxic, even from the delivery of that national whatever press conference. It was toxic. Finger pointing, using words which should not be associated, using words which should be nowhere near a presidential conference. It is all toxic. Even if there were good things in that speech, but using some of those words kind of took all the meaningfulness out of it by continually bashing and referring. These people, you arrest them, you rest your case. You can't keep like mentioning the same thing over and over. We are tired of it. We hope this thing will end in 2023. We will not hear some terminologies in a presidential speech again. We want to be professional. Some of us, it's not everybody who is a PF in the country. It's not. And when you choose,
it's like two little children doing chochise. Chochise.
We are saying Zambia is not about PF and UPND. You are governing 20 million people. Get over yourselves. Address the Zambians as Zambians. What are you doing for them? You have the mandate. 1.9 million out of 20 million voted for PF. Less than 2% of Zambians voted for them. They are a non-entity, so we are tired of every time there has to be a reference about PF. Please leave PF out of your speeches, your official capacity when you are there as a president. Leave your pettiness with your beef number PF. Just do your job for Zambians. Speak love and togetherness and unity. But then this constant referring to PF, it is not a sign of love. It's not a sign of unity. It's a preaching, it's like a hate speech. That's all I can say, it's a hate speech. And it should not be in a presidential address. We are tired to Anaka. People should tell you, people are not telling you. We are telling you now. If your people are not telling you, you are decampaigning yourselves.
In fact, Queen Mpumi, people will respect him more if he stops referring to the PF all the time. You know?
That is a broken record. That is campaign language. We are beyond campaign. Now we want to see results. What is in it for the Zambian people?
And what tells him amongst those civil servants that were sitting there is nobody that voted for PF?
PF are in a minority. They are 9 entities. Zambia 20 million have voted PF. They are less than 2%. Huh? No, Sarah, is it 10% or 20%? Yeah, 1%. Yeah, less than 20%. No, Sarah have voted PF.
Yeah, it's really becoming rhetoric.
That's what annoyed me about the whole thing. Is just to hear that whole bashing PF and stuff. Is like, we are going to 2 years. We don't want to hear about PF. Let them be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you are the winner.
Yeah.
Queen Mpumi, you are the winner, but you keep wanting to bash a dead person.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. The person is already dead. You are killing them over and over. Each opportunity you get, you are killing the person. It's like you are is already down. You keep shooting, stabbing the dead body. Like, really?
Yeah. I think, you know, Queen Mpumi, for me, he is actually scared that, you know, the PF might bounce back.
I think can never bounce back. The Zambians voted them out.
No, but why does he keep on talking about them?
What is his fear?
What is his fear?
Huh? They need to let go and move on.
Yeah, it is trying to progress. Zambians Zambians need food on their table. They need medicine on their table. Huh? They don't want to hear your fights with somebody else. You know, you as a president.
It's tiring, it's exhausting just to hear the same story, campaign story to be told. Like when people are dying, fuel is so much, the people are dealing with so much bad news from your government. And then you keep referring to a government when the people are even doing better under those people. How do you think the people
and time for campaign is over? Kanshi, you mean the president is gonna campaign all through these 5 years?
Next speech is just wait for the highlights.
Yeah.
Okay, my sister, meet to Kamunana Mailo. Have a good night. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Follow, like, share, Fumi. Leave your comments below. I'll try to read them when I have time. Otherwise, thank you so much. And if you missed the show, you can follow it on YouTube. I always post my comments there, my lives there. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Good
night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.